Right now, you're listening to the Lave Radio Music Medley. The next track is called Light Curve and is brought to you by Two Quiet Sons. Check them out on soundcloud.com/Two Quiet Sons.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commander. Hey, this is Commander Third Eye, and you're about to hear my new track, The Transhumanist. This is taken from a new album, Singularity Rising, which is due for release on Second City Records on the 4th of April. To follow my work, go to soundcloud.com/Third Eye Trance and hit follow. Fly safe and keep it locked into Lave Radio.
My name is Devastat, and next up is my track called Road to Village. If you'd like to listen to more of my work, please visit soundcloud.com/Devastat. Fly safe and enjoy the show here on Lave Radio.
Hey, it's Nicholas Felix on Lario. If you like spaceships, monsters, aliens, please listen to my next track, The Awakening. And if you want, I don't know if you want, but you can visit my website at www.nicholasfelix.com and enjoy the show on Lave Radio.
track is Finding Earth by Damien Wells. Damien's music can be found at soundcloud.com/DKW_music. Enjoy.
Hey Commanders, this is Fatal Nut, and you're about to listen to my track, Grace of the Emperor, on Lave Radio. Visit me and other great Elite Dangerous players over at www.emperorsgrace.com. Thank you, and enjoy.
It's time to pick up arms, to reclaim our space, to become the hand of the Emperor.
Hello, Commanders. The next track is The Great Expedition, another piece from my album Aphelion and used on the Elite Dangerous audiobooks. It's dedicated to all those explorers out there on the frontier. If you'd like to listen to more of my work, you can find it on SoundCloud at Alan-Stroud-1.
You're listening to Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of Dizzo.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 436 of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Psychit, and joining me in the Orange Signwriter bar for this episode, we have our, Banksy stunt driver? Is that what we go by now?
Changes every week, we just make it up. Hello.
We've got Alec. Alec is here.
Buckyballer soon.
I know, right? Buckyballer. We also have our head of health and safety, Ben Moss Woodward, otherwise known as Edler Rice.
Jesus, don't tell everybody we make it up. God, give the game away, man.
We have to, though. Everything is made up. All words and all sentences are made up literally on the spot unless we're reading off the people.
Nothing to do with reality either.
Everything is chaos. Bad things just happen to people. It doesn't matter if you're bad or good.
Wow, we've gone deep early.
I know, right?
That's what she said.
This is what happened.
Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
And we're back out again.
And we're there. Equilibrium restored. We also, as you've noticed by my dulcet tones, I am not Colin. I am not Phoenix Defier. No, I'm not even going to say that. Colin's not here this week. We will see you soon, Colin. Love you very much, etc., etc., etc. In place, I've bullied him again, gang. We have the Chris Mark IV joining us.
Oh, let me turn to my page of the script. Hang on.
Good. Keep going. You got it.
Hello. There we go.
Perfect. It was textbook wonderful, excellent, good stuff. If you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game. Are you at Lave Station, Ben?
We are at Lave Station. Yeah, myself and Chris are at Lave, along with Siberius and Duck 1.
Wonderful. So you feel free to join us live. If you can't get in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live and clicking on live chat, and also on twitch.tv/laveradio. There are other places available, but I'm not going to go into them now. Folks, how you blinking doing? Let's start with Alec. What have you been up to?
Hi. What have I been up to? Usual nonsense of work and I don't know, whatever, eating and sleeping during the week. But I have today, this afternoon, I went to see the new Dungeons and Dragons film. It's bloody fantastic.
So good.
Isn't it? It's
so good.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster. I loved it. I wasn't, some films have just got such great momentum and you're not bored from one second to the next. It just moves from one scene to that. It's really good fun.
Yeah, it really is. Fun. It's such a good film. Such a good film. Have we all seen it?
No.
God damn it, Ben.
Yeah.
Is it one of these films that would actually be spoiled by talking?
Probably not. No.
I mean, it's a very generic story. It really, there is a plot. It does evoke time on a table. As far as it evokes all of that nonsense that you get through playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it actually in association with Games Workshop or people? Or is actually
Hasbro?
Okay, so it's
Hasbro. Yeah, and there's like all different sorts of D&D monsters in it. There's a beautiful moment with the Tabaxi that I absolutely adore. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's wonderful.
I bet I'm missing all sorts of in-jokes not being a D&D player.
I think you can. Oh God, we're proper tangent town because you got me started on D&D and I just went with it. I think it's one of those things that you can enjoy it on multiple levels. I know people who have gone to see it who genuinely don't play D&D, don't really understand what those references are, and really enjoyed it. And then there's me doing like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen every 5 minutes and crying when I see things that I've vocalized and described to folks so often. So yeah, it was like an emotional, ethereal time for me. But anyway, what else have you been up to this week, Alex?
Right, yeah. Well, in game, I sort of finished my attempts at dicking around with various triangular things. So at one point on my ship, I think I had some relics, some Grelix, some Guardian keys, some Thargoid sensors, probes, and links. I can't remember. I just had all sorts of weird shit in my ship. And And then we'll probably come onto it later, but I stuffed a load of it in shipping containers for a laugh. And then I decided to take it all into the maelstrom and drop it all in front of patrolling Thargoid ships. And I had about 3 attempts at that, and then one of the Thargoid ships blew me up, and I lost the lot.
Oh no!
Hey ho, it happens. I didn't know what else to do. I'd run out of ideas of what else to do with it anyway. Yes, and now it's Buckyball next weekend. So this week I am practicing and route plotting and building ships. Woohoo!
It's time. It's time for the nonsense again.
Awesome.
Awesome. Ben, what have you been up to, my love?
I nearly got myself arrested today.
Okay.
As I explained briefly pre-show, a couple of weeks ago, I managed to lose the case for my set of headphones, the charging case thingy-bobber for my Bluetooth headphones. And my case basically wandered around a mile radius of where I worked, settled down that evening, and my flatmate very nicely took me out to the area where I've got a AirTaggy thing attached to it, a Samsung AirTaggy thing, not an Apple one, attached to them. So, when I lose them, I can find them again. A couple of weeks ago, it said, your device is here. And I went there and I was like, can't find it anywhere. So I gave up on it and went off and spoke nicely to Sony and said, excuse me, can I get another case, please? And they said, yes, of course you can. Give us some money. So I arranged all that and I got all the stuff and I wasn't really worried about it. But then it settled down, and it settled down within about half a mile of my office. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and have a look. So lunchtime today, I took a toddle off, had a look, and much to my surprise, my phone actually connected to the tag. And when you connect to the tag, it goes off and says, you get a little thing that's like warmer, colder, go in this direction, try going in that direction, and you can ring it so you can hear the tag and things like that. And I'm basically wandering around a housing estate, staring at my phone, playing hotter, colder, trying to get to this thing. And I'm in a garage area with a car, some bins, and all of a sudden I hear, "What you doing, mate?" And I just look around, I was like, well, there's nobody here. What the hell's going on? Oi, what you doing? And then I look up and I see somebody's got a Ring doorbell. And the Ring doorbell camera thing. And it was pointing at their car or their bins or something. And the guy's obviously been watching me, looking at my phone, trying to find my tags. And he wasn't having any of it. He wasn't best impressed. And started threatening nasty, horrible things when I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm in a public area. I've not touched your car. I've not touched your fence. I've not even, actually, I think I opened the bin lids to see if I could hear anything, but if I could hear anything by opening the bins to hear my tag. Just as a maybe kind of thing, because it's like, it says it's here.
Wow. Did you hear it at all?
I couldn't hear it at all.
No.
My feeling is somebody might have taken it into the house in one of 3 houses. And I did speak to another person, and they said, we think we've seen it. We'll give you a call back. So they might have seen it, and they might give you a call back.
Wow.
But this guy was like, no, I've not seen it, now piss off. I was like, okay, well, thanks.
I mean, that's what you get for looking in someone's bins, I guess.
I love it. Ben's gone all Ben's gone all Born Identity on us.
How?
Felon Ben.
No, I mean, if I was going to go for it, I'd have jumped over, the fence or something, because it's like as soon as I got to the back corner, and it was getting stronger as I moved towards their back garden. Now, in the back garden, it looks like they got a shed, and then there's the garden, but it could have been in. I guess the range of connecting to something's maybe 20, 30 meters or something. Yeah, so I don't know how far away I was, but
Wild.
yeah, so that was fun. Apart from that, I've been given some Indian sweets from my flatmates. That was very nice of them. And I haven't seen that film, the Dungeons and Dragon film, but I hope to at some point soon.
It's all right. I won't hold it against you. That's absolutely fine. Okay, Chris, what have you been up to?
I've not been as good as Poirot off investigating the missing headphones, but last week I had quite a busy week last week. I was working over the weekend, and then I was down south a bit for work, and then I was right back up here again. So I was kind of knackered at the weekend and went into recovery mode. I did my usual Sunday show on Black Diamond FM on Sunday, and then I ended up taking my gran out for fish and chips. She got diagnosed as celiac a few years ago, and she's not been out for a chippy tea in ages. And I found out there's a place in Edinburgh that does gluten-free fish and chips in the chippy all the time. It's not like a special occasion thing; they just do it all the time. So I got to take her out for a fish and chip tea. So that was quite nice. That was my little weekend, and yeah, it was one of those weeks.
Incredible.
So it was fun and doing all that. In game, I am still on my mission to upgrade my suits. I finally got my Maverick suit up to grade 4. Whoop whoop. I have all the components to put in. I'm now on the hunt for various types of data that I need. So yeah, I'm on that bit at the moment. But yeah, and enjoying it. Enjoying trying all the different sort of mission types as I try and collect the data.
You've just reminded me, actually. I did do one other thing this week. I completed my first ever ground CZ.
Nice.
You know,
how did you find it?
It was it's a low level one. I really enjoy. I don't even know my weapons very well, but there's one that's a bit like a shotgun, and my favourite way of taking people out is hiding behind like something, and then suddenly running right up to them, blasting them in the face with a shotgun, and then running back again. It's really effective.
A jack-in-a-box, but with shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be doing with these machine guns that slowly sort of lift upwards, so that you have to keep trying to re-aim, and the long-range thing's too slow, and they just dodge out of the way. But just running up to someone and blasting them point-blank range with a shotgun's really effective.
Yeah, it's really frustrating being on the other end of that. I can confirm.
Yeah, I've died many times at the hands of a particular person in the Twitch chat right now with their shotgun. So yeah, I'm not going there.
But yeah, it's all right. Who's the engineer? You have to complete 10 of these, don't you? So I'm sort of vaguely doing that. My only thing with it is, I don't want to get into this. It's a bit salty, I suppose.
Go on then, give me some salt. I love it.
It's just not elite. Like it's like I quite enjoyed it for a bit, and then how I felt was I'd quite like to go back to playing elite now. Thank you very much.
Really? Oh, I feel like that's like I miss that when I've been playing, when I've been doing, because like we've talked about this loads that I hadn't got on my ship for friggin' ages because Frontier were scared to do anything which involves their Odyssey content. We've discussed this at length at this point. So when I do, it feels like a little treat for me now when I'm doing like on ground combat and on foot combat. I don't know. Each to their own, and that's why there's so many different multiple facets and ways that you can play the game.
What's so great about it.
100%.
I love it as a distraction from everything else that's going on. It's like you can do the frontline thing for a little bit, have a little pew pew, and then you could run off and do something else if you want for a little bit. It's a palate cleanser almost.
yeah, I'll go with that. I like that.
Awesome. What have I been up to this week? Well, I went to see the Dungeons and Dragons movie, but I've covered that quite substantially, which was really, really good. What else have I been up to? Not much. Teaching myself lots of different new ways to dick about with graphics in After Effects. It was husband's birthday yesterday, so we took a little trip into Cardiff, and had just did some shopping in Cardiff. Bought some Lego, which was which was nice. It's been yeah, I haven't really done an awful lot in game. I went back and did some AXCZs. Haven't done them for a couple of weeks, and that was really fun. But yeah, aside from that, it's been good. It's just been a good week. I've managed to get out of the house a little bit because it's getting warmer and it's nice, and I feel like I can stretch my legs a bit. And I'm doing better at walking, kind of. I have to take breaks, like day breaks, when I don't do a lot of walking, but I'm getting there, and it feels like legitimate improvements when the opposite is seeing like everything that's going well with me is having the opposite effect with Kate at the moment. So we did a little bit of fundraising last week to get her some extra mobility aids and extra help with that, because you know what the NHS is like. She'd be waiting forever, and then she probably more grumbles. But yeah, it's been quite a busy week. Which is why I'm quite glad that I'm going to take a week off next week. I've made the decision that I'm going to take a week off next week. I'm probably going to do lots of stuff and work really hard and doing other things, but I'm going to take a week off. Speaking of, I'll say it at the top of the show, given the fact that we're here. No Lave Radio next week, gang. Just to let you know. We'll mention it again later, but just letting you know right now. Moving on then. As another host would say, what have the devs said this week? Absolutely fuck all. It's what the devs have said this week. We did have notification that there's no Frameshift live this Thursday because there's no staff availability. Don't worry, lads. I've got it. Just tune into twitch.tv/psychic instead, and we'll get it done. We will again have nothing to say, and it'll be fine. That's obviously a joke. It's not a problem, but clearly there's nothing to say, and there's no one available because it's the Easter break. Anybody has a problem with that?
Tough.
Yeah.
I would quite like the Elite channel to go live and it just to be you sitting in an armchair going, nah, guys, they're not streaming this week. Nah.
It ain't happening.
In a few weeks. Yeah,
Like
not this
Takanori
week,
just
mate.
open a big book and start reading a children's story instead.
with the fake fireplace in the background.
Yeah.
Lads, I'm really sorry. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're in.
Yeah. Sorry, they called it off.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most exciting thing, I mean, with the console things, that came around this week, didn't it? That got turned on.
It
did. Was there not a tweet about it, though?
There might have been a tweet about it, but I think that's been about as it... And I know there's a forum thread that Sally is watching.
There's a PSA. Have we got it in the show notes at the end?
Do we?
Maybe not.
The PSA the PSA amounted to, it's open again, come and get it.
But basically, the PSA is there was some rumor that as a workaround for the bug in the console thing, people started deleting their legacy account. Don't delete your legacy account.
Oh, okay, I've not heard that one.
Frontier have fixed the portal. Do not go and delete your legacy account.
Okay.
I think that was the main thing.
Why? Okay, do not do that. Do not absolutely do not do that.
Yeah.
No,
and also no discovery scanner. I guess it's worth mentioning. After
Yeah.
the Furore last... Well, not Furore, that's exaggerating it.
After like two people went, oh yeah, I don't really want it because you're saying it's discovery. You say discovery scanner and I'm not getting news. What does it say that there's news?
To be honest, it is kicking off a bit on the forum, but to be honest, it really sounded like Sally was already thinking of not doing it every week anyway, so I don't think it was that one guy's fault.
Yeah, well, if I need a scapegoat, I'm calling a scapegoat.
Yeah, if you do need a scapegoat, then it is that one guy's fault, but if you don't, then I think Sally was thinking of doing it anyway.
Yeah, I get it. It's all good. It's all...
I mean, they really can't win, can they? They really can't. I thought about this long and hard. I thought, what do I actually want Sally to do? Do I want her to do it every week or do I not? And I thought, yeah, you just can't win, can you? Do whatever you think's best, Sally, because, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I trust. I love that woman to pieces. I will fall on my sword for that woman at any opportunity. So It is not a problem. You do whatever you want, Sally. You cannot do wrong in my eyes. Okay, so after that jam-packed full development news, I guess we should move on to the in-game events. What's happened this week? We actually do have quite a few. We've had quite a few Galnet articles, which has been refreshing.
We sure have.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff which it's going to fall into our main topic. So what we'll do is we'll cover this really, really quickly, and then we'll kind of talk more about about this a little bit later in our main topic. So on the 30th of March, we had Aegis publishing the personal statement from Sarah Janae, who claimed to have evidence that Salvation planned to escape death. Basically, the stuff that we found from the previous audio logs, with a little bit more gravitas and an actual statement coming from Aegis. Sarah saying that Salvation is alive and in Guardian Tech, and Aidan Tanner using it as an opportunity to say, in kind of like a really mirrory speech of what Azimuth said, if you attack us, you're going against all of the superpowers, which I thought was really, really cool. Anyone feel free to jump in at any point. It's not a problem if I miss something or I get something wrong. Then on the 31st of March, we had an assassination out of absolutely nowhere, because it tends to be the case that if assassinations are signal boosted and planned, the assassinations don't tend to happen. Johann Fleischer, the head of Kane Massey, was shot and killed on Mars in a seminar, of all places, and everyone went, the fuck?
Yeah. Now, can someone remind me who were Kane Massey?
Just a moment. Kane Massey were they're one of those. They're a company that have rebranded and rebranded and rebranded. So they were originally Howlett, Kane, and Calvert. They were mining, and they were then. They had lots of scandals. They then rebranded to Massey Haulage, or they were merged with Massey Haulage. So it was Howlett, Kane, and Calvert merging with Massey Haulage, and they were reinventing themselves as your local mining company, with the rebranded corporation Kane Massey. Now, there was a Kane Massey versus Torval Mining CG not too long ago.
Yes.
And
yes,
that's about that. By all means, anybody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking mostly at Katie in that. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong with any information that I've already said. Feel free, get in the comments, do your thing. It's absolutely fine.
You are stating this was all the assertion of ChatGPT, yes?
I know, right? I'm trying. I'm trying to know what I'm saying.
What's the name of the mining company that became Azimuth Biotech?
Taurus Mining Ventures.
Okay. Is that the one you were just talking about? That went
No, Torval Mining. Torval Mining. Two different.
Isn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of asteroids and a lot of mining to be done in the galaxy. I don't think anybody's really got a monopoly at this point. So that happened.
I mean, the silly question, I guess, there, and I don't know if there's an answer to this. Who are they and why do we care?
So that's a really good question. And then on the 3rd of April, we had a response from Azimuth Biotech, who went, yeah, no, this bird's crazy. You're not doing that. But also, they mentioned the Utopia project in that article. And I live quite a far way away from my sister, and I heard her cheer from where I was. But yeah, they mentioned the Utopia article on that, and it was the Utopia article, the Utopia Commune, or Utopia project. why not both? But you said it's only the Utopia project that have had anything to do with AI. Absolutely not a case at all, which is what we expected, Asimov to say. And then today is the 4th of April. Today we've also had a Galnet article, Imperial Assassin stokes superpower tensions. So basically, Kane Massey went, yo, Torval, you're the one who did it. You're the one who attacked and killed Johann Fleischer. So more superpower shenanigans.
Indeed, where is this all going?
Exactly.
It's really out of the blue, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's been fun to see a lot of there's lots of new players stepping into the ground, or like old players who've kind of not really been doing a lot, who are going, oh hey, remember us? We're here. Just remember that we're here, maybe. I don't know.
The thing, actually, backtracking slightly, because I think in our main discussion we're going to focus more on the salvation bit of this. So I just want to touch on this. What really amused me with the assassination story was that the what was it? The assassin used a modified whatever the weapon was.
It's a plasma sniper rifle, I think.
It's the Executioner, the Manticore Executioner. So every single comment on the forums was like,
why didn't he just step out of the way?
Yeah, why didn't the person just step out of the way, get a cup of tea, and sort of come back before the projectile actually got to them?
Unless it's signal boosting that we're getting faster projectiles.
Well, it was modified in quotes.
Well, it would have to be. Wild. Yeah, that was quite funny. You're right, it was quite funny. Anyone have any? You know what? Let's save it until a bit later. What we have missed is on Saturday. It was everybody. Nobody ever gets caught by anything along these lines, but it was everybody's favorite time of the year, and it was April Fool's Day on Saturday.
It was quite full on.
There was quite a lot, wasn't there?
Yeah. Should we go down the list?
Yeah, absolutely. We had Elite Dangerous tweeted out saying that an unidentified vessel had been spotted. That is... Oh, I'm going to totally get this wrong. I know
it's a reference. I didn't get the reference, actually.
It's a 40k reference, isn't it? Warhammer 40k.
So the picture, I'm assuming the shape of the thing in the picture, a lot of people went, oh, I recognise that, right?
Yeah, it's oh god. I think it is the main warship of the Grey Knights. I need my husband to clarify that for me, because I'm looking at some of his figurines up here.
Yeah, I confess this.
Nope, I've been involved. It was a 40k ship. I'm sure he will let me know what it was. It was a 40k ship. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. I thought it was something to do with the some army that I've played as before, but it's from the Frontier game that was released, I believe. I might be completely wrong. The Foundry game even.
I've just had an idea. Can we each rank these April Fool jokes out of 5?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I love giving things arbitrary scores.
Right, let's do it. I think this one was weak. I'm going to give this 2 out of 5, Frontier.
2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 Grey Knights. Apparently it was a baleful addict. I don't know. I'm probably got that wrong.
I will take your word for it. I'm not going to correct you. I only got that it was the Warhammer reference because of the Heretics line.
Yes.
And I just remember from watching it that Heretics was shouted a lot. So I was like,
Heresy!
Okay, I get it. Heresy, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I recognise the ship, but I couldn't have said the ship type. So I did get what they were getting at, but...
Okay. Score?
I haven't played 40K.
Out of 5? Out of 5, Ben?
Honestly, I like the idea. So, It didn't fool me, but I liked the idea. I'd give it. It's a solid 3 and a bit.
So it's 3 and a bit. Oh, cool. Technical. We're going to decimals, but we're using bits instead. Chris, what for?
I'll also go with a 3, and it could have been improved by the Warhammer people sharing a picture of an Elite Dangerous ship.
Yes.
That would have been good. That would have elevated it. Yes.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing. I am going to give it a 2, only because of the obligatory don't fool us with new ships, Frontier, how dare you comments that came from some people. Okay, next thing there was we had an article posted to us, I think it went in the Anti-Xeno Initiative Discord as well, talking about Electronic Arts acquisition of Frontier. Is that the one?
I don't remember that
one. I confess.
Hang on, let me pull it up. In a surprising move, EA Games announced today that it has acquired the intellectual property rights for Elite Dangerous, with a link from the Anti-Xeno Initiative, within brackets, no paywall. So obviously you're going to click on it because it seems legit, and it took you straight through to a little-known song by a musician called Rick Astley. I'm sure we'll make it big someday, but it was never going to give you up. Something about Disney and Pixar, I reckon. That's such a bad joke. I'm so sorry. Yes. I enjoyed that. I'm going to give it 4. 4 out of 5, purely because of Ventura's reaction, and I'm so sorry.
Well, I didn't see it. I only saw it in retrospect. So, but I mean, it's a classic Rickroll, isn't it? So, you've got to get 3 for a Rickroll.
Yeah,
especially if you get people to click on it.
It was a classic Rickroll, very well done. I understand Norman's point, but I found it funny. So yeah, I'll give it a good 4 as well, I think.
I think I'm going to stick with my theme and give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3. Mainly, it goes up 1 point for Rick Astley.
Nice. Do you want to take the next one, Alex?
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to do scores as we go along, but I'll pause my maths for the next one. The next one, actually, again, I didn't see much of this. I think it was I saw a clip. It was like a screenshot from Discord, so I wasn't in the canon Discord. But LCU No Fall Light one. I think someone posted something. Oh no, it was a Codex post. So okay, maybe someone knows more. But this is from a bot.
Yeah.
Is this a trusted bot? Anyway, the bot said Commander LCU No Fall Light one has discovered Thargoid Titan mothership 1528476575 in system Cephei sector BVY-B4, and I'm assuming lots of people then rushed to said system to try and find the Titan mothership.
But quite probably that bot, they have a so Canon have a chatty Discord and they have an alerts Discord, and that bot is one of the bots that just pings whenever there's like an alert from any sort of reporting thing that you're using. So if there's something new, it will tend to sort of like flag it up to say that there's something. So it on all faces of it looks pretty legit and it's pretty funny. If it had been a random commander having found it, I think I would have fallen for it a little. I might have fallen for it. But
does anyone know if the numbers mean anything? The 152847. I spent a little while trying to decode those, but gave up.
I've got no idea.
I like it. I like getting a bot, a trusted bot, to play the April Fool. I think that's bonus points. I might give that 4 actually. I like that.
I think I'm going to give that a 4.5. I enjoyed that one a lot.
I am also going to give it a 4 because I think it was quite ingenious to use the bot in order to send the message rather than sort of posting it out. However, a bit like what I did with Frontier, I'm going to have to deduct a point because that was a prime opportunity for LCU to give us a rendition of Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, Christ, no. Oh, God.
So you back down to 3?
No, it would have been a 5. He's down to
3.
4.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Marks out of 5 for LCU's Titan mothership.
Yeah, I'll give it a good 4. I think. Yeah. It's a nice attempt. Well done.
What do you win? Nothing. Just random humans on the
Kudos.
internet.
Yeah, you win the internet.
We also
Punch
had
on the arm for being the best April Fooler.
wow. What an accolade. We also had I don't know if anybody's heard of this commander. It's Alec Turner. He found some strange shipping containers.
Yes,
This looks so good, Alec. I love it so much.
it was all right, wasn't it? I mean, I sort of did. It wasn't originally going to be an April Fool. It was like I said, it was just in the middle of last week. I was fooling around with all these things, and then I just got distracted by a what are they called? Something signal on a planet surface, not unclassified. Can't remember, but anyway. I went down there and it was 3 shipping containers, which I hadn't really seen before. It was 3 shipping containers in a little triangle. And you shoot the guards and you cut open the panels and they're mostly full of hush and push and, full of drugs. And then I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I backed up the SRV and then tried to fill the containers with Thargoid and Guardian relics? And I had some success and got some great screenshots. I think that was Thursday, and then just thought, you know what, I should sit on these screenshots until Saturday and then release them as an April Fool, which I did, and it was and I did it properly. So I actually Googled this to make sure I hadn't imagined it, but you're meant to reveal your April Fool by midday. So not a great window of opportunity, but I posted my screenshots at about 9 in the morning, and then at midday I released a video of me writing April Fool using the SRV.
Fantastic.
And I'm not going to say who this is. I won't reveal their identity, but the best thing about most people didn't fall for it. Burr immediately posted the newsroom gif of "I don't believe you." Fair enough. But I did have a PM from somebody who said got quite excited, thought they were probably random spawn locations, but was very interested and might well take a trip out to do some videoing. And then, how much later? Yeah, just over an hour later, sent me another PM that said, "Oh, bollocks, you twat." Which made my day.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I love that. That's so funny. Marks for Alec, gang. Alec, give yourself a mark.
No, I have to abstain. I'll take an average of 3. I'll abstain from giving myself a mark. That's not fair.
Okay. I will I think this was really solid. I will give a 4.5.
Oh, I'm going to jump in and give Alec a 4, I think, because I didn't actually know that those sites had little cutty panels that you could steal stuff from. So,
yeah,
so
they're
now
really
I'm going to
good,
check them out. I've learned something new.
I think, does one of the engineers need push? And so I discovered quite early on.
It's Domino.
Right. So I discovered that this was the place, or used to be the place to get push.
Ah, okay.
I think I'm going to give Alec a good solid 4.999, I think.
Wow.
It was a solid thing. It's within realms of believability. The only issue is obviously you posted on the day. And then obviously, you drawing April Fools on your SRV, that's just classic Alec, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to have a good punchline.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one that we have here is the Ship Interiors YouTube promo from Elite Dangerous, who are it's a French YouTuber, I believe, spelt the same way to
the French way.
Yeah, spelled the French way. Why am I making that such a hardship? Yeah, it's a good enough video. It's pretty believable. They've done a good job using bits that we've had from that we've seen in other videos to put it all together. I didn't hate it.
No, do you know it actually caught me out? Because the name of the I didn't spot the Elite Dangerous, so I thought it was official. And then, I immediately got that it was that it was an April Fool's spoof. But what I thought was that's pretty ballsy of Elite Dangerous to make an April Fool about ship interiors.
Top
And,
level trolling.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And then it was only later that I spotted that it wasn't Elite Dangerous and thought, okay. It seemed a bit on the edge for Frontier to make a joke about ship interiors.
Yeah, a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about it that way.
But it did kind of get me for that reason, so I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 3.
I'll also go with 3, I think.
I think I'm going to go 2.5, mostly because a little bit too on the nose to what we actually want. Or what some people want, anyway.
They're funny, though, April Fools, aren't they? It's a really fine line between just being an outright lie and a joke. It's like, where do you... Yeah.
It's tricky, isn't it? It is tricky.
They are
I remember there was a long time ago when I was a little bit younger that like a lot of my friends were posting like either engagement announcements or pregnancy announcements and then getting the backlash when it turned out it wasn't true. I'm glad that kind of shit doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, I can't picture doing a pregnancy
reveal.
as
friends of mine have done shit like that.
Okay, no.
And it's just been like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Very bad, not good.
Yeah.
What was the next one? Astro put a Star Citizenship in Elite Dangerous and did it really bloody well.
Yeah, a lot of work went into that. Because there was a follow-up video which was him showing how he did it. And,
I've not seen that one yet.
It's
I think
really
that's the one that's linked from the show notes is how he did it.
Yeah,
okay.
It is. So, I mean, yeah, so if you didn't see the original either, Ben, so it was like, it was
I saw the original. The original was very good.
For the listeners, it was a slow pan around a landing pad inside one of the Coriolis stations or something. But there was a Star Citizen ship just beautifully landed on the pad that you saw from all angles as the camera panned around it. Very nicely done. And the lighting, it was a lot of work. It was beautiful.
Lots of simulations were run to make that happen.
I don't think it fooled anybody for a second. I don't think anybody thought Star Citizen ships were actually coming to Elite Dangerous, but it was...
Well, there is a ship that, from an angle, looks incredibly like an asp.
I mean, there's only so many shapes.
Yeah.
Until, shapes that look capable of spaceflight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Nomad from the front... which is basically a space, flatbed truck kind of thing. It's actually got, the whole the haulage area is exposed to vacuum. It's a flatbed, but from in front, it looks like an Asp Explorer, yeah.
Cool.
And then you see it from the side. It's like, yeah, it's really not, but.
Well, just for the amount of effort that he put into doing it and the fact that it looks so nice, it is I'm going to give him a 3.5.
I'm going to go for a 4 for this because of the effort and also getting, sort of showing us how he messed around with it afterwards as well. He did a good little reveal. The amount of effort to go into like a little one-day thing. A lot, so yeah, I'm going to go 4.
Yeah, I think I'll go 4 as well. The only way it could have been improved if he should have done the inverse and had a Cobra in Star Citizen.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. You should have done more work. You should have done more work that nobody would have fallen for. That feels. I feel that in my soul when you say stuff like that, Ben. Oh my gosh.
But it would have been appreciated.
Yes.
Then Loose Screws did a 53 minutes Golden Screws episode, which apparently Jay&Trax is insisting is not a joke. Alec, what?
Yeah, I'm laughing now. I mean, so yeah, I'm quite so I didn't even realise it wasn't the day that they normally do their download, that it was a day early. Anyway, I went to work on Monday, grabbed the Loose Cruise podcast, shoved it on my iPad, so I get onto the train and I stick it on to listen. And after about 5 minutes, I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? because they were literally just reviewing an episode of The Golden Girls. So then I sort of thought, okay, April Fool, very funny. So I fast forwarded maybe 10 minutes, and they're reviewing it in depth, like really into it. They've done the research, they've watched it, they're reviewing this half-hour episode of Golden Girls, like minute by minute. And I basically ended up fast forwarding the whole thing because I'm looking for my little hit of Elite Dangerous on a Monday morning. But no, they spent 53 minutes reviewing an episode of The Golden Girls for their podcast.
That's
They're just trying to get their episode numbers up, aren't they?
No, they're just trying to branch out to the Golden Girls fans market.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I imagine that the Golden Girls and the Golden Girl fan and Elite Dangerous fan Venn diagram is practically a circle at this point.
But you know what? Fair play to them. And they did release a proper episode today, which I've only just started listening to. So they didn't even cheat us out of an episode of
Oh my god.
Elite Dangerous discussion. So I suppose, I mean, at the time I posted in their Discord and went, ha ha ha, joke on you, I didn't listen to a minute. And you had to spend 53 minutes doing it. But apparently they really enjoyed it. So, yeah, fair play.
You know, the funny thing is, they need to do exactly the same joke next year for the next episode.
God, can you imagine? They'll just start doing a new monthly podcast where they do a monthly review of every single Golden Girls episode. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
dig into it and do it for a whole year.
Big deep dive, and then the following April Fool comes on, and you're like, "Yeah, guys, we were shitting you for an entire year, but we're actually really quite enjoying it now, so we're gonna continue."
So I'm going to give it 4 because there's good effort in it, but it wasn't. There was no elite content, guys. It was too off topic.
You docked a point for the fact that there was no elite content.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it. I think it's magnificent. I'm going to give them the full 5.
Nice. I am going to give them a 4, I think, because they've taken what would be one of our tangents but turned it into an entire podcast. So I've got to give them credit for that.
Incredible. We should do a D&D podcast. There's none of those.
Oh no, there's no D&D project. I honestly, I'm going to go be harsh on this. I'm going to just give them a 2 because it's not actually Elite related.
How very dare you?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a genius idea. They put a lot of time and effort into it, but there's not even trying the Elite content.
It can probably be argued that Astro maybe put a little bit more effort in, but hey, let's not go there. They also posted, there was an article on the Discord that they posted on April the 1st that was supposed to, it looked like it came from like a Galnet article, but it was saying Pranav Antal discovered Aiding Salvation, which given an article a couple of days later, it's quite funny actually. I really liked it. I got tagged, and that's why it drew my attention to it. I thought I'm gonna give that a 4 because I thought it was so close.
I'll also be fair. I think I'll give it a 3.
I didn't see this one. I'll have to give it an average. Hang on, I've lost track. You gave it 4, didn't you, Psychic? 4.
I did, yeah.
Chris, what did you give it?
I gave it a 3.
3. I'll give it 3.5. That's nice and in the middle, isn't it?
I'll go 3.5 as well. I'm in Alex's shoes. I've not seen it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I got tagged in it, so that's why I saw it, because obviously I've been harping on about this for a while now.
You talking about Daddy's Avalon? No.
I know. Mostly about the Utopia project and the similarities and it finally popping up. We have the winner of the punch in the arm for being fun, I believe, is Alec.
Well, that's awkward.
Next time you see Alec, give him a punch.
Yay!
Awkward.
It must be said that Lave Radio does not condone violence in any way. Also coming in second is LCU, so punch him as well, but please don't punch him.
No, maybe punch him in the throat.
No!
Oh, harsh.
Fuck!
That might help everybody. You're doing the world a favour if we do that. I'm not saying you have to punch him hard.
Do though, if anybody else saw any other April Fool's jokes around the Elite Dangerous sphere and world and community, do let us know by getting in those comments and telling us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Nah, just get in the comments. Moving away from April Fools on a very awkward case of timing. The MRock posted on EDDB saying that they were closing EDDB. That's right, isn't it? Just to clarify.
Yeah. He's not been playing Elite Dangerous for a while, and the community's awesome. We all love the community, but his code's a mess. He's got no time.
Yeah.
And he's not playing the game either, so...
And
he doesn't...
I understand it's costing him like a fuck ton of money.
I would not be surprised by that.
Like the amount of traffic that goes to EDB, I would not be surprised at all.
I would not be surprised by that either.
But 07 the MRock, thank you for your
thank you for your
amazing
service.
site that I have used a lot, and I'm now going to try and find somewhere else that does. I'm sure I'll be able to find information on Inara as well, but 07's to you. Thank you so much for helping me when I started out playing Elite Dangerous, and probably helping out most other commanders as well.
Yeah.
Just to clarify as well, in case people are curious, I believe he was prepared to sell the domain if anyone wanted it.
That's
but
right,
the code is pretty shonky apparently, and he doesn't really want it out there.
He does not want it out there.
Or other people like tinkering with it, so he won't.
PSA possibly, actually. All the data is available through the API, at least up until Easter weekend.
Yeah.
So if we get the show out quickly, or if you're listening to it live or on YouTube, you have until the weekend to download the data, at least in JSON format. But obviously it won't be updated or anything like that, and it's
100%.
static JSON.
It be what it be. It was great while we had it. That's
Indeed. Oh, and he's deleting all the. It doesn't really gather much personal data, but obviously people have logins.
We've got logins and stuff, logins
Cool.
are whether you want dark mode or light mode.
So he's deleting all of that.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Also, in things not being available anymore, or mod makers or third-party app people not doing any more stuff, George Costanza, the creator of ED HUD mod, is saying farewell to Elite as well. He did leave us with a really beautiful picture. With some AI generation, but not a lot of AI generation. Really, really pretty picture. With a lovely post on the forums about it as well, and the fact that he was moving on, because I think he's gone from this being a hobby to him now wanting to make developing like a full-time job. Is that right?
Could be something like that. I believe with this one, incidentally, that there are other maintainers of EDHM. And I think his post said something about not training somebody up was the wrong word, but basically helping someone else understand it. So this one might well get maintained. This one's had an odd relationship. I don't know if anyone's followed the EDHM forum thread, and I think the same guy also does the thing which changes. What is it? It's like it completely changes the interiors of ships, so not just the HUD, but like the lighting all around the inside.
Yeah, that's EDHM does that as well, I believe.
Right. I know he spent a long time reaching out to Frontier to try and get it sort of formally approved, and I suspect Frontier have very tactfully chosen to say nothing, which means, if you make them say something, they might have to say no. So I think it's quite possible that Frontier have actually been quite generous and by choosing not to say anything.
And he also says that in his post, like, thank you to the FDevs for allowing EDHM to continue all of these years, because it is it errs on the side of it's pushing that line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is beautiful. I mean, it's been on my mind for a long time to install it, and but I confess I don't. But the things it can do with the HUD are just staggering. It's bloody beautiful.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say with it is that I believe every time there's a sort of fairly majorish update of Odyssey, this might have stopped actually now that they've stopped doing sort of significant optimization passes and things. But I think there were certainly several updates where EDHM needed a bit of a rewrite before it worked again because they keep changing the shaders, and so without solid maintenance, this one could fall into disuse, I guess. I hope not. It's a great tool.
Yeah. It's not something that I've ever used because anytime I change the colours, I stop being able to see the writing. I've discovered, and my eyes are shot to shit, so I don't like to do that. But the orange seems to work. But for those of you who have been using it, I hope you can continue using it with other folks that he's working with to make sure that gets developed and helped out. Has anyone got anything that they would like to add on the back of these?
I mean, the HUD color changing thing is one of those options that probably should be in the game.
At least for colorblind options, 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah, like a little bit of contrast and stuff. It's one that should be in there. I can understand that it's maybe not top of the pecking order over at Frontier, but it seems like a good thing that could be added in. And yeah, just to add to the chorus of what everyone else has said, well done to these maintainers that have been running these applications for all this time, because it's a huge amount of effort that goes into it. And like Alex said, every time there's an update to the code, you need to tweak something here or there and to make it work. So well done to the folks for keeping those things running.
Yeah, those kind of things are just like it's accessibility. Maybe with if that does go, or if that does sort of disappear, maybe we can put off up Frontier's arse and get them to do something with regard to accessibility for those people with color blindness, rather than having to rely on a third-party mod. But that's just me. And it's Kazi makes a really good point, because they don't know why it's not making them money on the Arc Store, because that should be. I mean, that's a good idea. But if you can just change the color, it's a good idea to do that. I think though it is that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, a store alert, a store alert.
And we do have a store alert this week. The sale is over, so there's new skins in the store, and these are skins for your Viper Mark III. I say your Viper Mark III like everyone's got one. These are quite cool, I thought. Yeah, the hunter skins, aren't they?
I like the locate one, the orangey one.
Locate one.
Locate, yes.
Yeah, it's hunter locate and then hunter capture.
You see, after we complained a few weeks back that their various skins were called the brown one, the black one, the green one, and the blue one, they've started giving them funky names. So the orange one is now locate, and the cyan one is capture.
And then we have a yellow and black one, which is apprehend, and a red and black one, which is execute, and a cyan one, which is extract, that are also on the website. They look really nice.
Of course, you realise Frontier are going to have to be consistent now. So if they ever do another locate, it will have to be orange. They can't call a blue one locate now.
That would just be madness.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I think the locate is my favourite out of those bats.
Yeah.
Just because the sort of orange and yellow go.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I really like the extract. I love a bit of cyan. That'd go really nice with pink lasers. I really like cyan and pink together. Do a thing like that.
It has to be hot pink.
No. F9 EF9C, that'll work. I've got a very specific taste in pinks.
Memorized the color code already.
I know the color code. I know the color code that I use all the time. Oh man, can you imagine if I didn't? And I have to look it up every time. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, no, they're really nice.
I'd do.
For the first 80 times, maybe. Yeah, no, they're really nice. If you want to catch grab one of those skins, you can grab one for the low price of 2,420 arcs. I don't know if that's a low price, but it's quite nice. If you don't have one for your Viper, or you're flying a naked Viper around all the time. I know. I also now realizing that I said naked Viper multiple times when something's recording me, which is excellent. We're gonna take a break. And when we come back,
you're getting hot flushes now, aren't you?
Exactly, and it's that kind of age now, Ben. It's getting to me. When we come back, we will come back with our main discussion, talking about I don't know, any old shit.
I'll make something up.
Oh, boy, space is cold in here. That commander has a cheek sitting up in his cosy and warm cockpit while we haul radioactives around his cargo bay.
Oh, is it cold? I hadn't noticed.
Oh, that's right. Why, you're not even shivering.
Maybe it's because I picked up this North Coast cargo bay sweater. It keeps me warm and stylish.
Say, that is a nice jumper.
It's made from the finest Verix wool and handcrafted by novitiates in the underground monasteries of Van Maanen's Star.
Wow. Where can I get one?
New North Coast cargo bay sweaters. Be the envy of your friends. Wow every lady from here to the Empire. Be warm and toasty even on the 10th planet of a dying star. Now on sale at Spark and Mensa.
Better now?
Better? Why, I feel so warm I'll probably never catch man flu again.
Spark and Mensa, because nothing says sexy like a neck-high jumper.
Listen here, ladies. While your man is out and about bringing home the bacon, you need to make sure you look your best, which is why we present to you our Lady Shave. It's small enough to fit into your dainty lady hands and releases a perfumed scent as you cut away that ghastly body hair.
Listen here, ladies. Say no to substandard shaving. At Saracen, we believe a woman deserves a shave as good as a man's. Introducing the Panther Clipper for women. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. And now, it's available in pink. A shave so smooth you'll need a tighter Dominator suit. The new Panther Clipper Lady Shave from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for. In pink.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirate's Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
Okay, so we thought that today might be, given the fact that we've had a big influx of stuff happening in Galnet this week, we thought that it might be quite fun to touch on this kind of limbo space that we currently have between now and update 15. 15, did I say that right? Is it 15?
Yep.
You did say 15, yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's either 14 or 16. I don't know why I can't get my head around the fact that it's 15. And I thought it would be quite a fun moment for us to talk about what we're expecting to see happen in this relatively short period of time. So April and May, for the most part. What are we? And this is going to be really open, gang. What are we sort of like thinking is going to happen within that sort of period of time? Really sitting within this Salvation, Aegis, Azimuth, Surgeon, Tanner camp.
Yeah, it's interesting because none of the Galnet stories are really. I don't quite know where the Galnet stories are going, because in my mind, update 15 is going to be some let's say some sort of mega shutdown field neutralizer. I suppose what I'm expecting is that Palin and or Ramtar are going to come out with a Galnet saying we've finished analysing your Grelics and we've managed to put it to good use, and here's the CG, and we need lots of super glue and circuit boards and pamphlets, and we're going to squadge those all together and make you a super shutdown field neutralizer that you can use to get to the heart of the Maelstrom. And then update 15 will drop and we'll go and do that and see what's there. What I don't get is what any of the Sojourner stuff, for example, has to do with any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that feels, for me, I'm in total agreement with you that when we have a date for when update 15 comes out, we'll have a on the run up to that, there will be this CG for the improved shutdown field neutralizer. So a big collaborative project between Aegis, Palin, Ramtar, all of that stuff together. In this big, we're gonna make this amazing thing for you. But in the meantime, what have we got? Probably, realistically, about 7 weeks between then and now. Would you? Because let's be honest, if it's any time, it's going to be the end of May. We're comfortable in making that prediction. I will be very, very surprised if it's any earlier than the end of May.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I completely agree because of, well, just practicalities with bank holidays and things as well, with them having support when they release stuff. I suspect the end of May, so that they're sort of free and clear of a lot of the bank holiday stuff that's going to be going on and people not being available.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of Galnet stories, isn't it? That's between a good 15, 16, 17 Galnet stories.
And a potential for, I can't see us going 7 weeks without any CG in between. I know we've had a couple of weeks where we've not had one. But it used to be quite easy. I say easy. It got easier to predict what a Thursday CG was going to be based on Monday's Galnet. Whatever Monday's Galnet was would signal boost exactly what we were getting as far as Thursday CG was going to be. But even that, even predicting the next CG, is it going to be something between Torval Mining and Cave Massey, or is it going to be the big Aegis Azimuth showdown?
My money's on this Kane Massey thing. I
Do you
feel
think
like,
so?
That feels like CG material, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it also feels a little bit like there's nothing wrong with this, and it's very cool that Front. Particularly with the delay of update 15, that they need a side story, and this is it. And I don't think they just cobbled this up quickly. Thought, oh shit, the update's delayed. Quick, write some Galnet. I suspect they've had this, parked and ready to go, and that's quite, that's sort of quite good forethought to think. Well, we're gonna timing these things out really hard, and to have update 15 down the line, and maybe the Sojin story ties into that more directly, and to think we need a side story to fill the time, that's pretty cool, actually.
I think the assassination and the sort of side bits to that we've been getting a lot of like political background and disruption in the universe, because you've got Hudson, who's been told he's not going to have another term. You've got sort of senior board members of big companies that might have enough money to challenge and do certain things that have been taken off the board. So it seems to be sort of upsetting the political structure at the same time as we've got a war on. You've got those big things coming in. So there's the potential of that spinning off into something else. I don't think it's necessarily going to spin into the Fargoid War, but it's going to be something that's there in the background, possibly causing a bit of disruption in our efforts.
I think... Sorry, go ahead.
All I was going to say is, what do you think, like, all this sort of political upheaval, even if it went to complete extremes, beyond changing the portrait pictures in Power Play, what do you think it could actually lead to in-game? I sort of find it hard to imagine anything dramatic. Even with the most dramatic Galnet stories you could imagine concerning the three superpowers, what can that actually mean in-game?
It's difficult to say, really. I find this one's really fascinating to me, because it's very much Empire. I think it's very much Empire versus Federation with regard to Kane Massey and God, what's her name? Torval. That I find kind of interesting, because it's so it's like superpower level rather than just sort of like political intrigue kind of thing. But what it could mean for an in-game change, other than a portrait, especially now we know that the big rework isn't happening until the end of next year. With the hindsight of knowing that is something that's coming at the towards next year now, unsure. Because had it been 2 weeks ago, before they'd announced that, I'd have been right on that bandwagon with the burst saying, "Oh, it's inevitable that Power Play is the thing."
Yeah, I thought so too. There was so much political stuff going on in Galnet. But this is signposting the feature update being Power Play, but it really doesn't look like that now.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what it's going to be, to be fair.
Do you think there's any interest whatsoever? I can't think of anything but salt, grief, and upset, frankly, over this. But in the real world, when you have major, big political shake-ups, what normally happens is the economy goes to shit. And I was trying to imagine.
I can't think of a real world equivalent where that would be the case. I'm joking.
I was trying to think whether there's any interest in game in having, the BGS economy sort of fall apart, but it doesn't seem like it would be much fun.
I think there'd be interest. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think there would be interest from Frontier's point of view, maybe to make commanders spend the billions of credits that they have now acquired. But I think there would be a lot of salt over that kind of thing, where we have not all become billionaires. Speaking from my poor poverty-stricken commander at his mere billion.
His mere billion.
His mere billion. In space, I'm poor. So, I don't imagine them doing a massive economy crash. But,
no, I just can't see it be fun. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not fun, is it?
So it isn't.
Yeah.
it isn't the first this it wouldn't be the first time that we as commanders would have to relearn BGS mechanics. They've fucked with the BGS before. Like I have been very lucky and privileged in a past life to be able to go and sit in on plans that they had for this is I'm talking years and years ago, and plans that are now already in the game, all the buckets and stuff like that. Been very very privileged to go and see the plans that they have in motion at the time, and thinking, oh my god, it's going to take, everyone's going to be in an uproar and we're going to have to relearn everything again. And we learnt it and we dealt with it. And those of us who were at the time hardcore BGS players were like, okay, let's adapt to this new system and see what we can do and see how we can make it work for us. And so I don't know necessarily that there'd be as much salt as you would necessarily expect there to be, because us nerds who like the BGS like learning new shit and like seeing how we're gonna fuck with it this time, you know. Alec.
Yeah, I just had one thought, which is one nice thing about a collapse is it gives the opportunity for something new to rise. What I was wanting, okay, this is real wishful thinking and pie in the sky stuff, but suppose the superpowers got into, you know, a bit of a war, and the economy did collapse, and so things that we rely on. I want to say fuel, but fuel's so cheap it would. But you know, just the general trade and economy. Suppose it did collapse, so it was really hard to make money. Trade, things that you needed to buy were really expensive, and then suppose pirate factions in anarchy systems became the place to go to get stuff, and it was a way of introducing something that we've touched on the show a few times, which is the idea of making anarchists dangerous, making a reason for people to have to go to them. I don't know, just one thought, I suppose.
No, it's a really interesting thing. Is that we've talked about it a fair few times, wanting anarchy to mean something and have and wanting elite to feel dangerous in that way.
Yeah, if you want to sell, you know, if you've mined a load of void opals and you can't get any decent money for it at all in decent places. The trouble is, it's a nice idea. I like the idea I'm running with, except I can't. They're not dangerous. The places. It would be really cool if there were, there were places you could go to sell your void opals, but only
with pirates and bandits around every corner.
Really
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. I think it would be really interesting if, and we've gone fully on Tangent Town again, as we always all want to do. But I think it'd be really interesting if, like the price of platinum or a lot of things were to get really, really low, and then tritium goes skyrocketing, and all of these fleet carriers that have stocked up on tritium are slowly dwindling, and they're like, oh god, how am I going to be able to afford this? That'd be a way to sink all of the money that you've made Thargoid hunting.
I may never financially recover from this sort of meme on the go. Yeah, no, it's definitely a possibility that they could do. I don't know. I just I think there'd be a bit too much grief, and I think that Frontier are probably grief wary at this point.
Yeah.
No, they've got to be brave. That's such a meme at this point. It's we've made this into such a meme, making Frontier brave. What, like, bringing back to this this sort of, like, I don't want to say limbo period again, but this sort of in between period with the waiting for update 15 to load moment. Do we think there's gonna be? Are we gonna get to a point where Aegis and Azimuth are gonna clash before update 15? Do you think?
Maybe. It's a bit like, I mean, it's a bit of a classic sort of film trope, isn't it, where you sort of have two rivals for, I don't know, like the public attention, or two candidates that are going to be the hero, and one of them wins, and you think it's the good one that's won, and then it turns out it's not, and then the other one comes back from the wilderness and turns out to be, the hero. So you could sort of spin it that way, couldn't you? You could have Aegis versus Azimuth again, and Aegis come out on top.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would very much, obviously I have a very vested interest in seeing Azimuth topple. I feel like that would be for those of us who were a little bit like less, we've done a lot of Thargoid combat. It's a huge amount of it. It would be really nice to see just who's going to be supporting. What if that happened? What it would look like? What would it look like? What would that CG look like if it was a flat out war? Because it would. I can't see it being like equal rewards, and how much would that sway commanders, and how much Elite Dangerous am I going to have to play at that point? Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I mean, this is them currently simulating their first intergalactic sort of war that they've got at the moment with the Thargoids, and you could definitely put that similar sort of technology to use with Azimuth v Aegis if you wanted to, maybe on a smaller extent or a different state. I mean, I'm probably creating some sort of absolute nightmare for a developer, but there's definitely things like that you could do. And Alex kind of mentioned it in chat as well. The fact that Salvation is still out there, potentially, ... There's, if there was something that was going to get part of the galaxy to be very much against Azimuth at this point, it would be if they are hiding Salvation somewhere and people want a bit of restorative justice. That would potentially kick things off.
So with the knowledge that Janae has said, yes, it's here. I'm fully confident that this is the case. Do we need proof before we do anything? And if there is a CG to find that proof, is that something that you think players would engage with?
Oh, what sort of a hunt the pieces of Salvation on the
Hind Mine again, kind of Hind Mine Mark II, but Soa versus Daddy Savlon.
Ooh. I mean, adding in the on-foot capacity and stuff that we've got now. Adding in your sort of frontline fun times with it.
Yeah, if there's a station that
if there's a thing, potentially, but it would depend on the rewards and stuff, wouldn't it? I think a lot of it comes down to rewards sometimes when it's these when it's the CGs.
How did the Hindmine CG go?
It went in the way of Taurus Mining Ventures won against Tanner acting of his own accord.
Right.
So it wasn't Aegis versus Azimuth at the time. This was prior to
yes, I remember.
Prior to Azimuth being a thing, it was they were Taurus Mining Ventures, and that's who Tanner on his own was going for. He didn't have the backing of anything else.
Do we know where Sojine is now? We don't, do we?
Yes, we do. She's with Aegis. Yeah. According to the Galnet article where the Thargoid got her, she said, "I would very much like to be returned to my friends now," and they went, "Okay, we trust your whatever higher power plan that you have."
Okay, and Aegis are her friends?
Yes, Aegis are the ones who have been looking after her all this time.
Okay, that's interesting. I always interpreted that with her friends differently, and I always thought, are there other...
No, it's Aegis, because Tessero gave a statement off on that article as well, saying we're grateful for her return, along those lines.
Yes, okay, I see. Yeah, okay.
I don't know, I just think... we've asked this question quite a few times. Do you believe Soa in that there is still some form? Oh, sorry, Miss Soa in the fact that there is still some form of azimuth of salvation out there, or do you side with Azimuth and saying, yeah, no, only the Utopia Project has got close to that?
Daddy Savlon lives!
Daddy Savlon lives! Savlon lives!
I think he has to, because it's a really... my reasons are completely out of game, but as an author, you know, why would why would Frontier introduce this idea if it weren't going to be true? It would be a daft storyline to have it turn out that Sojourner was making it all up. It just feels like that would be daft. So
Or it was the voices in her head were telling her. She does have the voices in her head. She's such an interesting character to bring into this world of humans that haven't been, like, some of them have got a lot of biological enhancements and things like that. But she's just, I just find her such an interesting and compelling character, especially now we have a voice. And we do also, we as the players have the tangible proof of Nemesis. We know that Nemesis exists because...
That's in the cutscene.
From the cutscene, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, but we don't know 100%. Well, obviously we don't know 100%, but we don't know that that Nemesis is exactly what Miss Soa is pointing, whether she's accurate about it. I would be very surprised if she wasn't.
Does anyone else think this is the way, this salvation using Guardian tech thing is the way that Frontier are going to bring the Guardians back to life? Is not quite what I mean, but the Guardian stuff we've been told, and I think I accept, are a dead race, and we've found, you know, the ruins, and obviously the ruins are protected by automated defense systems like the Sentinels. But I feel like they're sticking to the story that no, the Guardians are gone, ancient. But obviously there's this cool stuff in the game, you know, this cool tech, these cool sites, the possibility of cool new Guardian things. And I just wonder whether this salvation plotline is the way that they can bring that back to life. By having salvation bring it back to life.
He be the sole controller of this AI, kind of this the central hub of the he be the Borg cube in its entirety.
Or he find a way to reactivate it, and yeah, I suppose so.
Could be.
It does say in the codex, just for clarity, it does say in the codex that the Guardians were utterly destroyed. That is what that's quoting from the codex. So it wouldn't be calling the Guardians in themselves to come back. It would, if it was something like that, and he could.
No, but if he could tune into their database.
Yeah. If he could use this technology, to tune into the Guardian AI and be like, hey, I'm the one-man army now. Look at my super drones that are all connected to my hive mind.
Yeah, imagine if he suddenly got full control over all Guardian stuff.
Yeah,
that would be horrific. And a hell of a story.
And, you know, the next level of tech. Do you know what I mean? Of the next level of, like, the thing for us to fight against.
Do you know what would be amazing to witness? One of the things that the Thargoid War has allowed us to witness is, you know, things like NPCs fighting Thargoids outside stations and stuff. What we haven't seen, which I suppose we know happened and would be a most amazing spectacle, is to see Guardian tech fighting Thargoid tech.
Oh, I'd love that.
No,
I'm just thinking, you know what, I would actually...
Just to accidentally walk it, like fly into it, you know? Fly in there and there's always like a shit ton of things fighting.
And I guess we'd be alongside that scenario. I'm just wondering whose side we'd be on. I mean,
imagine if we could be on either side.
Well, imagine if one side was Salvation.
I get the feeling we're going to be on one. If in that scenario, we would be on one side.
Would you be fighting with the Thargoids against Salvation? Because
We're fighting against both of them.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a differentiation between them. Everything that isn't Pilots Federation or NPC would be red, and you just have to deal with it.
But the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Absolutely not. Those Thargoids are angry, lightning murder bugs, and they will be destroyed alongside.
But they look so pretty. They're lovely
They do
little
look pretty.
flowers.
They do look pretty, but the Guardian tech looks really pretty as well. You don't see me going, oh well, never mind. That's not gonna. I'm not gonna shoot at them because it's triangle shaped. I shoot regardless of shape. I am ambivalent towards all other races. Oh no. Yeah, no, I think that would be such a fascinating turn of events.
The other thing of being boring and serious actually is having three sides to a fight makes that fight so much more interesting.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Mm.
It makes for and it also sort of like makes for more bar graphs and more things like that where we're making those decisions of, no, but like do we support this, do we support that, which where we're going to see, and as Katie has just written in chat, if we're talking about triangles, a three-sided war would definitely be triangular.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see it. We've nailed it.
That's it, we've got there. That's it, we've got there. That's what episode is this? We made it.
Salvation takes control of the Guardians, and we have a three-sided war.
Three-sided war. There we go.
I think three-sided war is a show title.
Jesus. Crikey. Okay.
You know, after that, I think we need a rest next week.
Yeah, I think we do need a rest next week for all of that. That's holy. That I mean, that definitely has legs. It certainly has legs. That would be really interesting as well. Even if there is like a CG, which is Aegis versus Azimuth, like Hide Mine Mark II. Now all the cards are on the table, kind of thing. Well, most of the cards, but let's find out this all of this information that we can in T Towery, and there's a big fight that goes on. Whichever side wins doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of it, Salvation reveals himself anyway, and we're just flying along the day that war finishes, and we get a little pop-up message going, "Hi, remember me? I am your Salvation. Fuck me." That would be fantastic.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. I get really excited when I think about stuff like that, and we're never good. It's like stuff we get really excited about, and then nothing happens. I would love to see a pop-up from Salvation again. I think that would be enough to drive me insane. I would like to see something happen. Yeah, I'm back. That kind of thing. I'd like to see something over something cool to happen over the bank holiday weekend.
Do you think, one other question, do you think that Sojin, from the point of view of Galnet, Sojin has largely served her purpose now in revealing Nemesis?
No.
No, because I think she also holds the key. Oh, I'm gonna sound like a Thargo's a friends not food person now, but I think she also holds the key to any potential communication that we have with Thargoids, because it certainly ain't flying out a mega ship and flashing lights at them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a side of Sojin that we've sort of, with the Salvation stuff, I'd sort of forgotten. But yeah, of course, she's also has the potential to be like a Thargoid emissary, or at least interpret.
She can interface with Thargoids.
Yeah.
She knows. I think she understands the thing from ages ago when she made herself known, because she'd been in hiding for so long. She was like, the Thargoids, I know what they say, what they're saying. I know what they want, kind of thing. So I feel like we would lose that if we're not careful. I think she's going to be fine. I don't think she'd ever go back to Azimuth, and if she did, I think she could probably get away because I think she's savvy enough to be able to do that. From the very small snippet of conversation I saw in 3 logs from her between her and Tanner. Oh man!
I mean, she's obviously able. She's obviously capable enough to, get out there and find shit out about Daddy Savlon.
Yeah,
that he probably doesn't want to find out about.
I mean, as Kate is saying, she did say herself that the reason that he just wants her so close and wants to make sure that she's okay is because she is that missing link. She's the Rosetta Stone in this instance. And Metal Marrow says D2 will control Thargoids, Salvation will control Guardian stuff at the end. Endgame Clash of Titans on the end of War. I disagree that Sarah will control the Thargoids because I don't think she even wants to in the slightest.
No, that's true, isn't it? That's the only issue with this idea of her sort of acting as, there was speculation of her sort of being like a power play leader for the Thargoids, but she's not pro-Thargoid. I mean... No,
I don't think... I think she was very much...
She's not necessarily anti-Thargoid, but she...
No, she's just the one person who is available. She's the one person that's available to and has those powers. She's the one person that we know of at the moment. I should clarify because there might be others that we haven't found out about yet. Ben,
I'm just picturing an idea of, imagine if Daddy Savlon comes off and basically goes all Guardian AI Doolally. D2 basically comes out and says, I can control and enable the Thargoids, and then going with what Marty Gamer's going with, then we do, she's not on side of the Thargoids, but she can use them, and then that could potentially give us a two-sided kind of sort of CG where, okay, you're supporting the Thargoids technically to fight off the threat of Daddy Savlon, or you're supporting Daddy Savlon to fight off you're building up the Thargoids. And that could be a hell of a CG.
I would have agreed with you had it not been for the sadness in the thingy post, in the audio logs. It doesn't even feel like an option that she has anymore, that we have anymore, in a way that the story would go. It just doesn't feel like that would sit true with her character, and I am potentially reading an awful lot into that. Chris?
I think we're probably too past it with the Thargoids at this point in order to do a team up. That you would need to have.
I wouldn't call it a team up though. It's more. I can use the Thargoid ships.
Yeah, but, like, we've got a common enemy. I could see us having weapons if we're going down the line of Salvation bad, Salvation control, Guardian stuff. Then we know that Thargoid stuff is good to take out Guardian stuff to an extent, and vice versa. So we would likely need to be armed with.
Imagine if you could get Thargoid weapons.
Bits of Thargoid weaponry in order to defeat Guardian Salvation stuff. So by the time we, in theory, back Thargoids into a corner, which might never be a way, but we've got them in a corner somehow, then you could be using Thargoid recovered equipment or modified equipment in order to then
Imagine
take on-
if you could fire a Thargoid swarm, for example.
Yeah, so that you have like our human hybrid equivalent of a Thargoid swarm thing that you can fire off. You've got the potential of that. I think you've got more likelihood of that than you do have of us sort of fighting along with or having an emissary with that's allowing us to fight.
Yeah.
I think we'd be far too out the way for it, because I think Alex sort of said it earlier on about there being part of an end game of this being a bunch of engineers have got together and we've now got a thing to take the Thargoids on. My theory is that at the moment we've got no way of like reinforcing a system. So you can win back a system, the Thargoids can take it again, we can beat it back, we can beat them back again, they can take it again. But we've got no way of reinforcing in the same way that they've got of deploying a maelstrom. So like our human equivalent of having something that gets created, and eventually once you get enough systems in an area and deliver enough MacGuffins into the middle, you can create the human equivalent of a maelstrom that fights off and repels Thargoids for a few systems.
Interesting.
And that would be our way of cornering them, you know, sort of keeping them hemmed to a particular sphere. And at that point, you've then got the permanent battle, but also they're not going to be encroaching. Now, we might lose a huge chunk of the bubble before we do that. But that's sort of my randomy theory for that.
Yeah.
And then you could have your Guardian stuff then starts happening, because you've got the Thargoids in one corner. You can still use them to farm the materials that you need for your new Thargoid blaster or pew-pew gun. But your Guardian fight's going to be in the other corner with Salvation gone mad.
Yeah.
Turn it into a giant galactic game of Go at that point.
I think I have. Sorry.
On the note of that, of pushing back and things along those lines, there was a tweet that came out from the Elite Dangerous Twitter account today, actually, which said, for the first time since the start of the invasion, independent pilots have successfully begun pushing back the Thargoid incursion, join the fight, and help defend humanity. So we are now, all of the sliders have been put into the correct position. And we've started paying attention to those alert systems. We are beginning to push back, which might be really good timing for update 15 as well. So there's likely more of that between now and in the next 7 weeks, should we say?
Yeah, cool. I like that. I hadn't seen that tweet actually.
Yeah. I just thought about it then when Chris was talking. It was like, we are pushing them back. It's starting in areas. Enough of us concentrating on one maelstrom means that stuff isn't happening. I know also that what did they say? Let me check. There's not going to be any alerts in this week. Vestet clear, there'll be no invasions in Ligong this week because of the efforts that people have done around the Ligong. I'm butchering that pronunciation. That maelstrom. There's not going to be any invasions there because the alerts were all cleared, which I think is amazing.
That's really cool.
So,
Is that everyone tissue sampling?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's tissue sampling and killing officers and doing all of that nonsense. Unless anybody's got anything else to add, I think, given the time, we'll probably move on.
Do it.
Perfect. I think we're in for an interesting few weeks on the run up to, and some interesting Galnet articles. So then we will move to the community corner, and I will pass to Alec.
Buckyball is bloody back. So we have a new. I mean, I sort of touched on this, but it's properly back now. We've got a forum thread. We've got a magnificent banner. One of our sort of long-time Buckyball racers, Brusky, has sort of really run with this, so he's posted a fantastic forum thread that describes the championship, which is called the Swift 16, following on from last year's Magic 8 Ball. It doesn't mean there's 16 races this time. It's just another 8, which makes a total of 16.
I did panic when I saw that. I was
Yeah,
like, what?
whatever. I think we just like the name, really. He's done a fantastic animated banner, which I'm sure we're going to get told to take off the forums eventually. But I'm seeing more and more people adopting it, and there's just all these animations of Buckyball logos flying around, and it's great. Yeah, so we have 8 races starting this coming Saturday. I'll come on to that race itself. We're sort of doing what we did before, picking a bunch of old favourites and also some new ones. There's a lot of gaps still in the schedule, people work out which race they're actually going to run. So the first one I'll talk about in a minute is the Empire Hustle, which I think is a bit of a rerun. And then we've got, I'm doing one in May, Skur is doing one in June, Reiko's doing one in July, and Psychic, you are doing one in August.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of us have decided which ones yet.
I'm thinking about potentially doing the one that we did for the Soteria Chord and actually piggybacking it into the Buckyball race and making it an official Buckyball, but we'll see.
Cool. I've got an idea as well, but I'm going to keep it to myself now. It's quite fun. And then we've got Caleb Mincola in September is doing Breaking Badly. He's come up with this whole series of races that are sort of wonderful film puns, but have all got intriguing rules. So he's going to run that. That's a brand new one. And then Ashnak is doing Prison Break in October, which is a lot of fun. I remember that the first time round. It's to do with landing on landing pads that you're not normally supposed to land on. And then Osric is finishing up the season in November with Close Encounters. So yeah, it's going to be great. So yeah, this first race, which starts this Saturday, which is being run by Sulu, is the Empire Hustle. The basic premise of the name is that you're only allowed to use Empire ships.
And a Cobra, though, right?
Well, I was coming to that. Yeah, so it's on the surface. It's the ultralight Imperial Eagle, the light Imperial Courier, the medium Imperial Clipper, or the heavy Imperial Cutter. But we're also resurrecting the regulation ship from last year, so people can literally dust off the ship that they used in last year's championship, which is the Venerable Cobra.
Take off the weapons.
Yes, they can get the guns off it. Otherwise, that is the regulation class ship.
Incredible.
And this race is it's a nice. It sort of reminds me a little bit of how we started last year's with the Preshow race, because I've done a couple of practice runs already, and it's pretty simple. It's 5 stations, and you can run. There's a designated start-finish station, but apart from that, you can put the other 4 in whatever order you like. And what you the only sort of twist on it is that when you arrive at each station, you get one screenshot at the front of the station, but then before you dock, you have to go and fly around the back, and then come back to the front again. So there's a nice little loop around each station.
Interesting.
And these are all I'm not good on my station types. They're not Coriolis's. They're the sort of longer ones that have all the arms and
a Celis?
Yes,
might be a Celis.
That sort of thing. So your route to round the back is quite interesting because you have to weave through all the structures or take the long way round.
Oh, that's fascinating. That sounds like it might be. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I love it.
And in something like the Imperial Courier, it's a pretty quick lap. I think it's, I don't know, I'm guessing now, but it feels like it's about 20 minutes or something. So there's plenty of opportunity for doing lots of runs, and I can see you streaming this a lot, Psychic.
Mate, God. Oh, content for next week sorted. Oh, I might be off next week. Oh shit, I said I was going to be off next week. I might chuck in a cheeky stream and give it a go, because it's a lot of fun. Oh man, it is a lot of fun. Do get involved with Buckyball if you can. It doesn't matter if you're not fast. It honestly doesn't. It's just like something else to take part in.
Yeah, and
does it really work if you're doing a Buckyball?
Does it really work if you're doing a Buckyball? Did you just say?
Yeah.
And do you know what? If you do give it a go, I mean, do a couple, because the thing about Buckyball time trials is that while you are competing against other people, I find it becomes not exactly competing with yourself, but you find yourself improving and learning faster ways to do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, that's the most fun that I've had, is like beating previous
Yeah.
times and
Just
stuff.
the idea of, laying down time and then going, I know where I went wrong. I'm going to do
Yeah.
that one more time. That's just really fun.
It gets a little bit more-ish and addictive. I love a Buckyball week.
Yeah.
Holy nuts. Oh, it might be
You're
the
the
week after that I
1 point
take
club
off.
is-
Woohoo, 1 point club!
1 point club is where it's at, apparently. So
Oh, it really
I think I'll
is.
set that as my goal.
It
But
really
yes.
is. And who are you going to beat if you can't beat yourself?
It starts Saturday and it's all next week. So that's the thing with the time trial. You can do it whenever you fancy. So if you're free on, Sunday night, do a bit on Sunday night. If you've got Wednesday morning off, do a bit Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Whenever you're free the whole week.
Yeah, it's super fun. It really is. It really is super fun. Oh man, it might be the following week that I take off. Okay, cool. We don't have a mostly clueless today. Has anybody come across something that they wish to
Where was it that
share?
you said that you could collect push again, Alec? from the
Still can't remember the name of these
Is it
damn things.
unspecified? I don't think it's unspecified.
Unspecified. It begins with a U. Definitely begins with a U.
Yeah.
So you know when you detailed surface scan a planet, and then you've got things like crash sites and I don't know. There's about 5 different types of things you can find on a planet, and one of them begins with a U. I'm hoping someone in chat will remind me what it is. Irregular. Thank you. It's got a U in it. Right, that's the one. Irregular
Close.
marker. Irregular
marker. There we go. That was my mostly clueless for this week.
Yeah,
Was
and then
Alec
they're
giving me
threats.
information.
They typically have a threat level, and they're guarded by a few soldiers. So what I do is just take them out with the SRV, and then go down with the domain Artemis suit, the Maverick suit, sorry, and cut open a panel. And it's a little bit random, but these things are usually full of drugs.
Perfect. Awesome.
And Guardian relics, if I've been there first.
I believe you, Alex. Thousands wouldn't. Okay. We do have some other business. Friends, ECM 2023 has been announced, which is very exciting. It hasn't been announced on the 19th of August at the Hilton St. Anne in Wokingham. There is a Discord for ECM. It will be linked in the show notes if you want to check it out. If you don't know what ECM is, ECM is the Elite Community Meet. Hutton announced it last week. I think Dave announced it on Hutton last week. Am I right in saying this? Please, anyone correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, he did
announce it. Yeah.
Okay, cracking.
Yeah,
There was some
last week
T's and
it
I's
was
waiting for you.
penciled. I think last week he was saying it was penciled in, announced, and then today he's actually like, yeah, the money's been paid, we have the deposit, we have
Sweet.
everything done.
Fantastic. Yeah.
You can't buy
so-
tickets yet, but it's, apart from that, it's live.
Perfect. Excellent. Awesome. So 9th of August, hopefully we'll see we will see a lot of you there. I'm personally hoping to be able to go. The weekend before that I am in Scotland in a wedding, so there's a lot of moving around and stuff that week. So hopefully we will go there. There is a Discord. The link for the Discord will be in the show notes. Second bit of other business, which I've already mentioned, we've talked about a lot. We need a rest, so there's not going to be any Lave next week. We're taking a bit of an extended Easter break, but we will be back the following week. I'm not missing anything.
No. You know what's going to happen is there's going to be a major news drop this week, isn't there?
Oh well, if there is, you can catch us on not Frameshift Live this Thursday over at twitch.tv/. Oh no, please no, God. So we shall move on to the shout outs. our sister station that we've just mentioned, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 UK time. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts, which have appeared over the last year, or standard regular contributors. They are the Guard Frequency, who do other space screens, and also lovely friends over at Loose Screws, who apparently really like the Golden Girls. Following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Special thanks to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and our in-game commanders. Who have we seen in-game?
Trish, you want to, or shall I do it? I'm doing it. So we've got Commander Rich, 1986 Rich. We've got Commander Entrial, William Solo, who managed to cock up a mission for us. Thank you, Commander. Siberian, and I believe Sadachi's here. Sorry, Sedchai is here. Oh, and Duck 1 was here earlier, but they've gone.
And Oddball 1952, is that right, Chris? Did I miss that one?
Yeah, that was one right at the beginning. I don't know if they were officially here to see us, or if they just wandered into the bar, saw us, and
they
ran
might
away.
have just walked in the bar.
Yeah, that's...
Commander walks into a bar and...
sees the pair of you and's like, holy shit, absolutely not.
Oh, I forgot it was that night in Lave.
Oh, God, no.
Get me out of here.
Special thanks also go to Commander Takoso, Jay and Trax, and Alan Stroud, who created the music used on the show. That is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, you can email us at info.laveradio.com. You can also find links to all of our social media that Ben is going to put up either in the show notes or on our website at laveradio.com. I ain't reading all of that out. Do get in touch if you have any questions or if there is anything that you would like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Ben.
Thank you, Psychids.
Thank you to Alec.
Thank you, Psychic. Happy Easter, everyone.
Woohoo! It's Easter. Have your Jesus eggs. Thank you to the Chris Mock for...
Yay! Happy Chocolate Day, people.
Whoop whoop! And thank you also to today's tech specialist, Commander Putnik Santiago.
Welcome back, Putnik.
Woohoo! It's good to have you back, mate. Until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you're unable to do that, please, by all means, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
GalnetNews Digest, 4th of April 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Salvation's brain has been transferred to a Guardian supercomputer, and a picture of Senator Torval clutching an assassination weapon has come to light. Azimuth Biotech has continued its efforts to discredit claims made about it by its former test subject D2, whose real name is Xiaojin Ai. Xiao's latest claims are that the former Azimuth boss Salvation, who was fried to a crisp by Thargoids after he attempted extremely unsuccessfully to wipe them out, has had his consciousness transferred to a Guardian supercomputer, and is secretly continuing to run Azimuth behind the scenes, with its nominal CEO, Torben Rademacher, a mere mouthpiece spouting propaganda and disinformation. CEO Torben Rademacher dismissed Xiao's claims, and suggested that she must be delusional and making these stories up to discredit the corporation that so lovingly and with huge care implanted an experimental probe deep into her brain to make her able to communicate with the Thargoid hive mind. Rademacher seems to have no idea why Xiao might be upset by the way she was treated, and he laughed at the way she's revered as a prophet by the Far God cult. He said that her ideas about Salvation being able to transmit his entire living mind across space and stored in a manner similar to that used by Pranavantal's extensive SIM archive were clearly ridiculous and should be dismissed out of hand. Which sounds like Xiao might be getting close to the truth.
The Federal Intelligence Agency has found evidence linking the assassin who killed the Kane Massey CEO with rival imperial outfit, Torval Mining Limited. The information, revealed by Kane Massey's acting CEO, Philippa Barlow-Lyons, says that Johann Fleischer's murderer was tracked by the FIA leaving Olympus Village spaceport using fake ID, and that he was then traced to the Paladin Consortium system of Tavgi, where, under a completely different identity, he was revealed to be a prospector working for Torval Mining, which has a large presence in the system. She claimed that the assassination weapon, a Manticore executioner plasma rifle, is a close match for the sort of weapon Titus Torval, Zemina's grandson, would use in Imperial intelligence. Based on this information, Barlow-Lyons has accused Zemina Torval of ordering the assassination in revenge for her humiliating defeat in the campaign for control of the Doulos market in early 3308. Speaking shortly after, President Hudson issued assurances to Kane Massey that if it can be proved that Imperial forces were behind the assassination, restitution will be sought. Zemina Torval has not acknowledged the allegation. However, the Imperial Senate has denied any involvement in the crime, claiming that the Empire has no interest or involvement in the Federation other than its joint anti-Xeno operation, which is coordinated by Aegis. The evidence pointing to Imperial involvement in the assassination was prepared by the Proactive Detection Bureau, a division of the FIA established by Vice President and presidential candidate Jerome Archer. Archer has reason to dislike Kane Massey, which threatened to suspend its massive contribution to the Republican Party in protest at the violations of civil liberties allegedly perpetrated by the PDB. If we choose to discount Zemina Torval's revenge as a motive for the killing, it's not unreasonable to postulate that Archer may have been behind the assassination, and that the PDB may have concocted the link to the Imperial mining operation to cover Archer's tracks.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.